Sue Barker, the host, and team captains Phil Tufnell and Matt Dawson have all been sacked by the BBC.
Ageist and racist.
Yeah, they're all getting on a bit, and they're all white. So you wonder, given that the BBC is so now committed to diversity, spending £100 million on it, are these people being sacked because of the colour of their skin, do you think, Nigel?
I think they're the wrong type of people to do it. I think Sue Barker's the wrong type of woman. She's old, she's white, she's middle class. I think Phil Tufnell's the wrong sort of working class guy, and Matt Dawson is the wrong sort of guy who's in his mid-40s. If it was Gary Lineker, they would probably sack him, but he's untouchable. I think what happened next? Well, what happened next is viewers are going to get very, very fed up about this. I spoke to a couple of my relations today. I don't watch this program. I used to watch it as a kid, as I'm sure we all did. 3 or 4 million people watch this program. I would say the BBC are taking on this diversity thing. You've got to look back that Sue Barker is one of the dying breed. She is a 64-year-old female in television. Now, she was quite groundbreaking. 24 years ago, when she took over the show, she was one of the first female sports presenters and took a lot of grief for it. She's been good at her job. She's still good at her job. She's described it as a dream job. People are smugly saying, oh, she'll be okay. They'll look after her. She's got other work. She's got 2 weeks fronting Wimbledon. She's worth a lot more than that. Now, the BBC are so blinded by trying to get diversity. Charlotte Moore said this is the most... she's the... used to be director of content. Now she's the chief content officer, whatever. She's the top woman at the BBC. She has said that diversity is everything, and that's what they're going for, and everything is about diversity.
Okay.
However, everything's about diversity, but you're getting rid of a top female presenter.
Can I put this in, Nigel? Okay, I'm going to propose this. The sacking of Sue Barker is racist, sexist, and ageist.
I wouldn't disagree with that. This must be the only time when 3 people have been sacked from the BBC. When the BBC said they're being sacked because they're doing a good job. In the statement they put out, the BBC admitted that they were doing a fantastic job, that they make this programme popular. So why did you get rid of them? Because they don't fit the profile the BBC wants.
BBC is no place for older ladies, is it?
I mean, the first guests they had on this show in 1970, January the 5th, there was Henry Cooper and Cliff Morgan were the captains. Had George Best, Lillian Board, who was a tragic athlete who died very young. Tom Finney, the footballer, Ray Illingworth. Now, this Friday's show will have a Super Bowl guy who's black. He's a Nigerian, but he played for New York Giants. A top cyclist from South Africa, a Superbike champion, and Stuart Pearce. Now, they have loads and loads of people from ethnic minorities, from disabled sports, appearing on this programme. So why not keep Sue Barker as a female host? Because that's quite equal. The BBC have a problem with women and equality.
They just got in loads of trouble a couple of years ago.
Of course.
They have a big problem with women as they get older, it seems.
Right. So have her there, get rid of the team. Okay, get rid of I can see, take the team captains away. But there still is diverse guests. Why does Sue Barker, who's doing a good job, who's a top professional and female, just happens to be an older female, why is she being marked out by the BBC to be fired from a job? No. Even they say she's doing very well.
I don't know. I don't know how much the new Director General Tim Davie knew about this, or actually he does know about it. But after his encouraging messages reinstating the lyrics to Rule Britannia and Land of Hope and Glory at the last night of the proms, and saying he's had enough of left-wing comedy, this is a step backwards for him, because whether he was involved or not, it doesn't look good in terms of... It
doesn't go
in terms of the BBC not being woefully woke. This smacks of the woeful wokeism of his predecessor.
It does. It smacks to me that they're trying to get all the stuff they want to get in before he gets his feet under the table. So this looks to me like it was a coup that they've staged to get this out of the way, because they knew that he would probably see a problem with this.
Yeah, see, I don't mind, Nigel. I don't mind at all the idea of a television channel, in this case BBC One, saying those 3 people on the show. They've been on there for a long time. We're going to try and go for a younger audience. We're going to have a more diverse cast. I don't mind that at all. But if you think about it, if that's the reason they're getting, then that means they're getting dismissed for quota reasons. And that seems to me to be a bit sort of Soviet Union and sinister.
It does. It's weird, though, because Lenny Henry, probably one of the most famous black activists and comedians and entertainers around, now he suggested that the BBC ring-fed some money to employ kids from BME backgrounds. And Charlotte Moore, who is the diversity queen, rejected this, dismissed as being a box-ticking exercise. And yet everything they're doing now is a box-ticking exercise.
I mean, these three have gone because of box-ticking, haven't they? They no longer fit the mould.
They don't fit. They don't fit the profile. They're too old. They want younger banter. I mean, if you listen to their sports department has been, all the old experts have been axed. Young people, it's all about banter and fun. It's dreadful.
But production teams are still very white, aren't they? It's mainly superficial.
As our BBC executives.
It's all superficial, isn't it? It's all on the screen. There's a lot of diversity, but actually behind the scenes.
I mean, again, I'm not against that, but it does seem to me to be a bit sinister and Soviet that our state broadcaster has taken upon itself to get rid of three people because ostensibly, possibly because of the colour of their skin.
Sky did it, of course.
It does.
Profile.
It seems to be that they've got rid of them without really thinking what the plan B is ahead. And as Ash said, Sky did it. Yeah. And this is going to be a great big thing. Sky Soccer Saturday.
Laetitia
Laetitia, Thompson,
Phil Thompson.
and Charlie Nicholas. Yeah. And I watched it on Saturday.
Well, you got Tony Pulis and
Tony Pulis.
Tim Sherwood,
and Glenn Johnson.
Well, what's that about?
Oh, and a very fed-up-looking guy,
Paul Merson.
No, not Paul Merson. Yeah, Paul Merson.
Stelling.
Jeff Stelling.
Was Stelling looking fed up? I didn't see it on Saturday.
Totally fed up.
Yeah. Well, because it doesn't make any
jokes and things weren't there.
They're all his mates.
But
the
I was
banter.
thinking, if there'd been a huge revolution to bring in young black people or whatever, then you can understand it. But to bring in Tony Pulis, who's about 65 and isn't even as good as Jeff Thompson, in my view, I didn't see what it was all about, unless it's to save money. I don't. That's all I can say is perhaps they're on high contracts and these people are cheaper. Because there's no. Why would you just get?
Well, that isn't that we know that that's not going to be the case at a question of sport, is it?
No, it's not. Of course not. And that just seems to be that they're desperately trying to get diversity into every program, but. As my elderly relatives, the other reason that the viewers and younger people don't watch it is because when we were kids and I watched it, it was on an early time. What the BBC have done with this is they've done some other programmes that they don't really like Songs of Praise. They keep moving the times around, so no one ever knows when it's on. Yeah. This is on now 8 o'clock in some late hour, so kids can't really watch it. People who do watch it are like my elderly mum and my aunt. They watch it. They love Sue Barker. They're not going to be happy when someone goes in. So they're going to lose the audience they had, the 3 or 4 million who watch it. Who are, let's face it, it's not the trendiest programme. It's not a league of their own.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Like it. It's people like, I know smug people are saying only a 1.2 million watched last night at the proms. Only 4 million people watched this. The point is, a lot of people like the idea of this being on, even if they don't watch it. It's part of their youth. It's nice and comforting for it to be there in its unadulterated form, its old format style. And occasionally you might dip into it. But it's there. Why try to update it?
Yeah, I know. It's another program. It's another act of folly by the BBC and its deluded belief that somehow or other it can lure back young viewers, that have gone forever, and will never come back.
They've gone forever. They haven't. My son hasn't even been a BBC viewer. He's 16. I don't think he watches live television. He watches YouTube.
And Netflix.
He has a Netflix account when he remembers to pay for it. I remember.
You remember to pay for it.
At least he won't get sent to prison when he doesn't pay the bill, unlike the BBC.
Now, I don't recall him ever watching any live television. It's not even.
It's an act of folly. They will never get back the young viewers. BBC has never really been about young people. It's about people who are much older than that, and I don't know why they kid themselves that somehow or other they can be groovy and appealing to the younger generation, because it's a lost cause, guys. Just give it up. Nigel, we've run out of time, but fantastic as always. What a
Cheers,
pleasure.
mate.